Oh.
Stream audio was off that whole time because I thought I might have to do the thing I've done for the last 2 streams, which is set us on the starting soon screen for a minute.
Real.
But I did not have to.
No, I was hustling today. And I didn't have to fight for my life in the bathroom.
Okay. We do have audio.
Not yet, anyway. I'm kind of like Aaron Yeager right now because I feel a rumbling, if you know what I mean.
Yeah? Okay. Well, regardless. You have it, right? You have the stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
Welcome back to Umineko, everyone.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and get right back into it.
True.
Where we left off.
Last time was an action-packed, not at all. I don't even know what you would call it. They solved the epitaph.
They did, in fact, solve the epitaph, and they told us absolutely nothing about how they solved the epitaph. They just went, oh my gosh, it was that simple all along? How could I have never gotten that? And then got it.
Yep.
So, we have been left as goofuses here to figure it out with what is available to us, which is pretty much just the epitaph. And some speculation. They did give us some speculation about it yesterday as well. They gave us some hints.
Yep.
Which I do have some ideas, but I don't think I'm anywhere close to solving it.
Yeah.
At all. My main idea that I'm working on right now, that I'm cooking on, that I've been thinking about, has to do with the river. Because they really hammered in on the, oh, maybe it is like a metaphorical river. Don't worry about the sweet fish part. Just think of river. So I don't think it's a real river. I think it's like metaphorical or allegorical, and I think it's something else that does the same thing a river does, which is flow. So like, could be a road because there's like a flow of traffic. I don't know. I'm cooking. I'm cooking on it. I haven't really 100% figured that out yet, but I don't think it's a real river is my main point.
So long as you don't stop thinking, you won't lose.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Otherwise, we got...
Even though Ava did.
Ava cracked the code, but it wasn't Ava. Ava did it.
Well, Ava won. Ava lost.
Yeah. So... you'll probably see in today, if you missed last episode and you're here, you'll probably see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the only other person, and this kind of puts away if you had a theory, if anybody had a theory about like, oh, Ava was hallucinating the whole thing.
It was all a dream.
Rosa fully witnessed it, so that
True.
puts that away.
Yep. That was actually something I talked about last episode while it was happening. I was like, oh, well, we only have Ava's perspective, so do we know if it was real or not? And then Rosa showed up, and then Rosa corroborated that it existed, and I was like, okay, there we go.
Brawn tube.
Brawn tube. Crack it open.
Now, don't let that dissuade you, though. The second Twilight's yet to happen. It's been a while.
True. We haven't really progressed much of the, which is funny now, because saying that, I have come to the realization they have set all of this up so that now Beatrice has to do the rest of everything.
Yep.
And has been thrust into this position.
Yep.
With no prior knowledge of this occurring, and is going to be like, huh?
Presumably also she'll know who some of these people are, but she's also going to be like, oh my gosh, you're so old, or she's going to be like, you're their kid, you know?
Yeah. And presumably is going to have to combat Battler in the 9th dimension. So,
yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I do enjoy that was their way of changing this one up, because they started it off being like, dang, Beatrice is starting to like crack under pressure. Battler's actually starting to figure out kind of how to combat her. How's she gonna come back from this? We'll just have him fight an entirely new person.
Yeah, Boomba.
We'll just completely change the dynamic between the characters right now. I enjoy that. I think that was a good way of doing that. Okay. Speaking of, Rosa returned to the lobby.
Yeah, she did.
It was still her turn to rest, but her expression made it look as though she couldn't sleep deeply with all this tension.
Take it easy and lie down. Keep this up and you'll have it pretty rough later on. Thanks for the concern. I just couldn't fall asleep. I've already taken a shower, so I'm good for now. The next person can rest.
What about you two, Kyrie-san? Rudolph-san? What will we do, Rudolph-san? Shall we rest?
Him with the blick, you got me. You can rest. I'll stay awake. That's the only manly thing I can do right now.
Stanced up.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll stay awake. Staying awake with my husband is the only womanly thing I can do right now.
Wilden.
You two truly are close. She's so jealous. She...
Mm-hmm.
You should talk... Do not try to say that she's close with her husband, Kyrie. Do not try to pull this right now.
I don't think Nazi's close with anyone. I was gonna say, like, oh, maybe she's gonna talk about Jessica. Mm-mm. I don't think so.
That's the... Jessica is the person she has tried to be close to the most out of everyone, but I still wouldn't call them close.
Yeah.
It seems Ava and Hideyoshi are out cold. It appears that, unlike Rosa, they can't fight against their age.
What does he mean by that?
You're older, brother. You're...
Yeah.
As though in response to those words, the door to the hall clunked open.
Kraus just turned to his brothers and sisters and said, "Your mother." That's your mother. Like...
Oh. Ava and Hideyoshi returned from the guest room. Oh, do you think she told him? Do you think she told him?
I don't know, they look awful serious, huh?
She was very adamant not to tell anybody, but would she be trusting enough to tell Hideyoshi? Oh, here we go. I think we're about to get
Let's see.
told.
But that's none of your business. Oh, Rosa, are you sure you don't need to rest yet? You should talk, Ne-san. Why not take it easy and sleep? Oh. I just can't get to sleep. Taking a shower shook my drowsiness off. Rudolph, Kyrie-san, you can rest if you want. Sure, thanks. Well, for now, let's say I appreciate the sentiment. Why don't you go first, Aniki?
This is just a giant passive aggressive like, no, you go first. You
This
go.
is a Mexican standoff
Yeah.
of who wants to sleep.
How kind of you. But I cannot rest first. That is the most I can do as the oldest brother right now. Do not worry. The two of us will stay awake until the very end. More importantly, Eva-ne-san, are you okay? You look a little pale. Come to think of it, you're right. Could it be a bit of a fever? Hideyoshi put his hand up against Ava's forehead. It seemed that Ava wasn't feeling her best.
That goes without saying. That's what happens. That's what happens when you break your sleep cycle at your age. Is it a cold?
Natsuhi, could you call Dr. Nanjo down? Yes.
I'm fine. You don't have to make such a fuss over it. I have some medicine, so I'll be okay. I tend to get fevers when I'm tired. Don't worry.
That's not good, Ava.
Don't worry. It's just, Ne-san, take it easy, okay?
It's menopause.
Thank you. If the siblings gathered without me around, I get the feeling everyone would start talking behind my back.
Losing all the paranormal things, how wild would that be that, like, a murder occurred? And so you think you're, like, having, like, a mental break or something, and then after all this, you go back to the mainland and you go to your doctor, and he's just like, oh no, you've started menopause.
That would go crazy. See, the first thing I jumped to was, like, leukemia or something like that.
But
getting overwhelming fatigue, and I was like,
True, true.
that's like the thought of like Breaking Bad or something. It's a persecution complex from long ago. Persecution? I've never heard persecution complex. Sorry, okay? Well, I won't say anything. As if I'd say bad things about you behind your back, Nason. What is it? Nason, you've been acting strange for a while. Shouldn't you get a little rest now? Alright. Just thinking about raising money by March makes my headache hurt even worse.
Way to be subtle, Ava. Wait.
That isn't good. Rest. And I'll hold back too, so that your headache doesn't get worse. I've had a bad headache myself for a while now. Thank you. Well then, I'll take those words to heart and rest for a while.
What is it, Ava? Why so angry all of a sudden? Sorry. Please let us rest a bit longer. Sorry. After apologizing several times as though praying, Hideyoshi followed Ava out of the lobby. I do have to say, over the course of episode 2 and 3, my respect for Rosa has raised just a little bit. 2, it was on a little bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But 3 has definitely made... I'm not over here thinking she's a good person necessarily, because I don't really think any of the siblings are wholly good people. But I respect her grind.
Rosa Umineko is a very interesting character.
She is very aware of her position, and so she's not gunning for the top spot. She's just gunning for security, and I can respect that.
Admittedly, all the siblings are great, but of all the siblings, I think about Rosa as a character, like a literary character, the most. She's very complex and interesting. Again, not a good person, though, because she beats Maria. But anyway.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Morally out of all of the siblings...
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you think is, like, the worst thing, right? Because I would probably say Rudolph, but he is a womanizer. But I would say that's the least bad out of all of them. I think him and Ava are contending for least bad, but Ava is a little bit of a... She is manipulating George to... She's grooming him to be an heir. And so I think that's a little for her.
Yeah, it's tough between those two, because her thing's a little bad, and his thing's like big bad, but it was a while ago, and it seems like it doesn't happen much more. I don't know.
But I think we can all agree Krause is the worst.
Yeah. Because he's dumb.
He's dumb, and he is very... He flaunts his position way too much. He's very confident in his abilities because of his position, and he shouldn't be.
But just wait. Further episodes might change your tune on Krause. You never know.
Oh boy, okay. I don't like this atmosphere. It's all so strained. That's no surprise. There was a murder early this morning. And since then, we've been eating canned food and carrying guns around. It's natural that we'd start to build up stress.
Hey, sip on my water. I wonder if the kids up there are building up stress too. I'm worried about Maria. She tends to throw tantrums at times like this. What, after murders?
At that moment, they heard the sound of wild footsteps coming from the second floor. Oh, we're gonna get some kid. We haven't had kids in a while. The guest house wasn't a cheap building, so they wouldn't normally have heard the sound of footsteps. It was like the sound of someone stamping their feet in frustration. Well, speak of the devil. And an instant later, accompanied by what seemed to be the sound of her running out into the second floor hallway, they could hear Maria calling, over and over again, sounding displeased. Oh, I haven't had to be Maria in so long. It's been such a nice reprieve. Rosa grabbed her head, her hair flying, and she voicelessly moaned in anguish. The adults conscientiously turned their backs to her, pretending not to notice. The noisy clamor came down from the second floor and flew into the lobby. It was Maria, who was sobbing, along with the other children and Nanjo. In other words, they had all come downstairs because of Maria's tantrum. Rosa couldn't hide her dizziness at this new annoyance her daughter was bringing to everyone. Sorry, Aunt Rosa. We tried to calm her, but she just wouldn't listen.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is?
Battler told her witches aren't real.
Okay. What is it, Maria? Could you be a little more quiet? Everyone's watching.
Oh, okay. Yep.
The other thing.
It's that rose of hers from the rose garden. She suddenly started saying that she was worried about it.
I don't even remember your voice like at all, brother. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. I think she's half asleep. She suddenly woke up and started going on about how worried she was about that rose. Maria-chan, calm down. That was just a dream.
Ooh. That rose belonged to Beatrice and me. So if I don't take care of it, Beatrice is gonna get mad. It might get snapped off again.
I'm telling you to quiet down a bit, okay?
The sudden rise in the tone of Rosa's voice surprised the children. But Maria's crying just grew louder, and her tantrum just grew fiercer.
Like a hydra.
Rosa-san, you mustn't scold a child so unsparingly. Careful, Nanjo.
You're gonna get scolded.
Yeah. At times like this, it's best to give them some warm milk or something. Is there any here? The milk we just had for breakfast is empty now.
Doesn't anyone have a sedative to use on kids? You know, those silver pill things? I have some! Yes, I'll search for some now and give them to her.
Without hiding her displeasure, Rosa grabbed the handbag that had been set on the sofa and fished around for some medicine. It seemed she had brought some child-use sedatives for Maria's tantrums. She found it and opened the bottle, but it must have been empty. Irritated,
No.
Rosa shook the bottle several times, but that didn't change the fact that nothing was in there. As she did that, Maria's crying grew even more intense.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. At that time, Ava was lying on her bed, covered by the bedding. Hideyoshi returned from the washroom, folding a handkerchief soaked in water. Whew, this is one nasty fever. I'll bet it's the poisonous air at this family conference that got you. For now, you can forget all about the other relatives, okay? As Hideyoshi spoke to her kindly, he set the soaked handkerchief on Ava's burning forehead. Ava rested her own hand on top of his.
Your hand. It feels nice and cool.
If my hand feels nice, your fever must be pretty bad. Don't worry, the medicine will start working soon. Plus, my hand is a magic hand. I just put it against your forehead like this, and any fever will melt right away. Ew. They're being gushy.
It's sweet. You're right. Your hand always makes my fevers fade.
Yep. No need for a doctor when you got my hand. Don't worry, and close your eyes. My magic will make that fever fade away.
Yes, I know. I can feel your magic.
Hideyoshi was about to say it was just a placebo effect, but he stopped. If Ava said she could feel magic coming from his hand, then that was fine for now.
I wonder if magic really exists.
Yeah, it does. Only those who believe can tell, though. There's actually a lot of magic like that out there in the world.
If magic actually exists, then I wonder if witches actually exist too.
Oh, you mean that witch of the forest, Beatrice? She probably does exist for those who believe. Just like the gods. They don't show themselves except in front of those with strong faith.
I did it too, you know. Long ago, I was able to use magic.
Oh? Really? And you were a witch too?
I had dreams that I wanted to come true no matter what. After wishing strongly and trying hard, they always came true without fail. With my magic, my grades were always the best, and I even became the student council president and worked hard to get into the university I wanted. Everything I wished for was granted.
That's right. Your magic was always a thing to be reckoned with. You're definitely a witch. And you work harder than anyone. I know all about it.
When I was a kid, the whole time there was another me inside myself who always supported me. And that other self was a witch. I didn't believe in Beatrice, the witch of the forest. I always believed that if a witch of Rokanjama did exist, it was the witch inside my heart. I was so grateful to that witch inside myself. I was always grateful that she brought me to you.
You get too timid when you're sick. Don't say anything for now. I'll stay like this the whole time, until your fever's gone down.
Yes. Don't take your hand away. No matter what. Somehow, I feel like I'm becoming something that isn't myself.
Uh-oh.
I've been scared for a while now. I get the feeling that the witch inside me was provoked by Beatrice and is growing stronger and stronger. Somehow, it feels like she's going to swallow me whole.
It's okay. As long as I'm with you, there's nothing to be afraid of. Remember the time we went to that dangerous country and the whole bus got robbed? Dang!
Utah.
I drove them off.
Didn't you just hand over your gold watch and beg them to go away? It was pretty lame, but it was cool. Don't move your hand away. No matter what. Not even if I fall asleep.
Where did they go?
Just a guest room.
No, I mean
wait,
the
you're
country.
Talking about what country? I have no idea. And if something creepy sneaks in here, protect me.
Yep. Leave it to me. That's why I'm telling you to stop worrying and to get to sleep. Because the medicine and my magic will start working real soon. Ava finally calmed her heart and closed her eyes. At that time, there was the sound of a door being opened violently from the direction of the lobby. It seemed that Maria was having a tantrum, and screams of ooh 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 could be heard, along with Rosa's rebuking yells. That probably hurt Ava's ears. Or maybe it was giving her a headache. Ava moaned as though in pain and buried herself in the covers. It was easy to guess what was happening. Maria had probably had a tantrum for some reason, gone down to the lobby, and started arguing with Rosa, who then scolded her daughter. And then, maybe that got too embarrassing to be shown in front of the other relatives, so Rosa had taken Maria out into the corridor. Hideyoshi had no desire to butt in on Rosa and Maria's problem. But just for now, since Ava's condition was so bad, he wanted them to take their ruckus somewhere else. Wait just a sec. I'll ask him to keep it down.
Come back quickly.
Don't worry, I won't leave this room. Hideyoshi removed the chain, opened the door, stuck his face out into the corridor. He immediately met Rosa's gaze. Everything okay, Rosa-san?
I'm sorry, did all this noise wake you?
Dang. Maria-chan, sorry. Aunt Ava isn't feeling well, and she's trying to sleep. Could you quiet down a bit? Maria's tone didn't change after Hideyoshi's request. She kept crying ooh and repeating, my rose, my rose. Rosa slapped Maria's cheek, lifted her up while covering her mouth, and dragged her towards the entrance, trying to at least put some distance between her and Hideyoshi's room. She would still probably be noisy for a while, but he had warned Rosa for the time being. Relying on Rosa's actions as a mother, Hideyoshi closed the door.
Is Maria-chan having a tantrum again?
Looks like it. It's tough for Rosa-san, too. Come to think of it, our George is almost too good to be true. We should be grateful.
You're right. And...
Oh, sorry. Look, it's the magic hand. He put his hand on Ava's forehead again. Maybe there really was magical power in that hand. A truly peaceful look rose to Ava's face, and bit by bit, she began to drift off into the land of sleep. As he had promised, Hideyoshi kept his hand on her forehead.
Okay.
By the entrance, with her hand still against Maria's mouth, Rosa was at a loss at what to do next. She hadn't been able to withstand everyone's gazes in the lobby, and had yelled at the children to go upstairs, dashing out of the lobby. Then she had gone out into the corridor, only to have Hideyoshi say that she was too noisy. Where should I go now? Where should I take this child who's having a tantrum? She felt as though tears of frustration were about to come out. As Maria kept struggling in an attempt to scream, Rosa put her mouth up to Maria's ear. Yeah, Mike Tyson her.
Yeah.
Oh no. Sorry.
Oh.
And tried to persuade Maria in a properly calm voice.
Maria, do you really want to see the rose that much?
That face, that stupid face that she makes. Maria nodded her head several times, moaning, ugh.
Why do you want to see it so much? I'll listen as your mother. So will you tell me quietly? I'll hit you if you scream.
My rose. Beatrice revived it. It might have snapped off again. I'm worried about that. I can't sleep until I'm sure.
Apparently, she was still upset about that marked rose from yesterday. Rosa felt her headache throbbing again. But she was at least a little relieved that Maria had now stopped her screaming.
Anyway, everyone is having a hard time right now. So don't bother Mama and everyone else. You can worry about that rose all you want tomorrow when it stops raining. So for now, listen to me.
No! No! It's my Beatrice's rose!
Rosa reflexively covered Maria's mouth. She had spoken a little too harshly and gotten her agitated again. Rosa realized that it was partly her own fault and clicked her tongue in self-hatred. But Maria thought that was directed at her, and her crying grew even fiercer.
Please, just be quiet. What can I do to make you stop crying? What should I do to make you listen to what your mama says?
Suddenly, Maria stopped crying so fast that it seemed unnatural. Then she turned around and muttered, "Oh boy, are we getting back into creepy Maria now?"
Chicken
Yup.
nuggets.
She makes that face when she's weird. That's her weird face. That.
If I get to see my Rose, I'll stay quiet until tomorrow.
It would have been an excellent play if instead she was just like, chicken nuggies. I'd so swing it, man. Okay. Really?
Yes. If we go to the rose garden and see my Rose, I'll calm down. I mean it, Mama.
If it would keep Maria quiet for the time being, Rosa thought that even going out into this wind and rain would be a small price to pay. They're gonna die. She thought it might be a bit reckless. But in the end, no murder or anything of the sort had actually occurred. Oh, that's right, she doesn't believe anyone actually died.
Yeah, they all think it's a Kinzo trick.
All of that clamor since this morning had been a farce set up by Kinzo. If you carefully thought about that chain of closed rooms, it clearly had to all be an act.
Will you really listen if you get to see the rose?
Yes. I mean it, Mama.
She's got her... Oh, never mind. She had her game face on.
Ouch.
Rosa didn't overlook that creepy laugh and lightly hit Maria with her fist. And she shrugged, as though giving up.
Huh! Huh! Quit laughing like that! No, I'm kidding. Understood. If it's just one look, then I'll agree. Will that work?
Yes, Mama. I promise.
Once again, Rosa tested the weight of her gun. It'll be okay. It's only an act. There was never a murderer on this island in the first place.
Precisely.
Ha! Damn it! Wait, Aunt Rosa! Are Aunt Rosa and Maria the sacrifices for the second Twilight? Damn it, damn it, damn it! Someone notice them! Tell them to stop! What are those guys in the living room and us kids doing?
Indeed. They are being considerate of Rosa's pitiful relationship with her daughter, and are forcibly changing the subject. The group that includes you went up to the second floor, and is talking about something else while watching TV.
You bastards!
That's you, Battler.
Someone noticed them! I think he would readily identify himself as a bastard. I think.
True.
Who's the closest? Is it Uncle Hideyoshi? Please, notice that those two are leaving through the front door. Ah! Also, phones don't work, but the TV works.
Yeah.
Curious.
Bronto. It won't reach. It won't reach. Don't disturb their precious time together.
Hideyoshi kept talking kindly, his hand on Ava's forehead. He didn't notice at all that Rosa and Maria were going outside through the front door. In that case, there was no way the others in the lobby, which was even further away, would notice. Why is the lobby not next to the front door? What? Much less those in the cousin's room on the second floor.
Why are you so panicked? Didn't you defeat me with that bold move saying that the culprit died in an accident on the first Twilight? Doesn't that mean there's no longer a culprit on this island? What is there to be so worried about?
Don't get struck by lightning.
Real.
Shut up! I can see right through you.
Oh, dang it.
Someone stop them! Those two will be killed! Someone stop them! Ah!
Now what?
There was no way that Battler's voiceless scream would reach Rosa or Maria. The two of them could be seen in the rose garden. The rain was still awful, but unfortunately the wind had died down a little. Fortunately, not unfortunately, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, well, maybe that wasn't fortunate. Because maybe, if the wind had been a little fiercer, Rosa might have hesitated to go outside.
Here it is.
Maria found her rose with the gold lace and stared at it lovingly. Rosa had accepted the promise under the condition that Maria would only get one look at it. But she didn't want Maria to complain that it hadn't been enough later on, so she decided to go along with Maria until she was satisfied. She believed that there wasn't a culprit. But on the off chance that she was mistaken, they were now in an extremely dangerous position. Rosa realized that faintly herself. If things got bad, she would throw away her umbrella and ready her gun. After glancing at Maria's innocent happiness, Rosa gazed warily in all directions.
Uh-oh.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Huh?
War?
Were her eyes just tired? Even though no one should have been there, she thought she saw something glitter in the dark rose garden.
Uh-oh.
Gold-colored? It had to be her imagination. Because to Rosa, it seemed as though gold butterflies were dancing through the rose bushes.
Frankly, gold butterflies are worse than seeing a person in
Yes. Yeah. Yes. 100%. You are dead if you're seeing the gold butterflies. You know it's over. It's
So far, that's been the case. Everyone that's seen gold butterflies has died.
Mm-hmm. Are you okay, Ava? Just take it easy. Should I call Dr. Nanjo after all?
I'm fine. Don't take your hand away. I'm begging you. Don't take your hand away.
Ava was breathing wildly. Beads of sweat were appearing on her forehead. It certainly was true that she had stayed up all night last night, and that things had been rough since early this morning. It wasn't odd that her body wasn't keeping up. Even though he understood that, Hideyoshi suspected that this sudden fever was the sign of some serious illness. Several times Hideyoshi decided to call for Dr. Nanjo, but Eva resisted firmly, pleading with him and saying that it was even more important that he didn't take his hand away. I understand, but you've gotta have Dr. Nanjo look at you by lunchtime. If you can promise me that, I'll stay here the whole time gripping your hand. Tightly, like this.
Thank you. I'm fine. The magic of your hand will definitely take this fever away.
Even as she said that, Ava's harsh breathing didn't improve in the slightest.
Don't let go. Don't let go. Oh. Who is it?
She saw an umbrella moving from beyond the rose bush. Rosa threw away her umbrella and wildly lifted her gun. When she did, the shadow of a person beyond the bush showed itself.
Huh? Aunt Ava? Huh?
You scared me. It's you, Ne-san? Do you have some business with me? you want to continue our earlier discussion? Yes, that's right. Our discussion about Father's gold. Please restrain yourself in front of Maria. I will keep my promise, okay? I won't get in the way of your conspiracy. Conspiracy? What's that? Whatever you're thinking, that's up to you. I have no desire to get in the way. So please, not in front of Maria. As long as I get my share, that will be enough. Your share?
You're dead. It's over. Bye-bye.
Cooked.
It's... Eva started laughing in a creepy voice. Rosa was startled, but Maria stared blankly. Wait a minute. Maria about to be like, "You're not Beatrice." Oh, not my Beatrice. Then...
Hashtag not my witch.
Yeah. Then, Maria said just one thing. Huh? Auntie, who are you?
I always gotta take a second to adjust to Ava Young mode. Hold on. Especially with this. Are you kidding me? Your share? Who would give that to you? All of that is mine. It all belongs to me, the Golden Witch Beatrice. Okay, I'm assuming normal one now. Whoa!
Is Ava gonna die of a fever?
She was, if you want to go non-magic route, she was out in that torrential downpour
True.
with Rosa for
Yeah.
a while.
Ava, are you okay, Ava? Ava! Ava!
Hold on! Don't let go! Don't let me be dragged away by someone who isn't me! Hold on to my hand! Don't let go! When did you ever work hard? You never worked hard for anything. You were always hiding in our shadows. You always escaped from shadow to shadow without fighting. And yet you really think yourself qualified to make demands of me over the Ushiromiya family gold? All of that is mine. It's all mine alone as the head of the Ushiromiya family and the new Golden Witch, successor to the name of Beatrice.
Beatrice. It's Beatrice!
Maria be like, so...
Mama,
cool.
Beatrice!
Maria jumped at her mother in ecstasy. Rosa treated Maria cold-heartedly and raised her gun high.
Hey, you're Nason, right? You are Nason, aren't you? Wrong. I am no longer the one who was your sister. Then who are you? Are you trying to say that you're Beatrice? That's impossible. You died 19 years ago. Yes, you were definitely dead. After all, I clearly saw how your head was split open. I can remember the insides flowing out like it was yesterday. How can you be alive and here right now? The concept of death does not exist to a Golden Witch. The Golden Witch and the name of Beatrice will be handed down for all eternity. Maybe the Beatrice you knew met with death, but that name is mine now. And therefore, it's eternal. The concept of death does not exist for Beatrice. All I can see is that the gold has driven you mad. How pitiful, Nason. Come on, you know I'm not your sister anymore. Well then, as the new Beatrice, I have been tasked with my own resurrection ceremony. Ronove, what should I do? That is up to you. You already have the power to make whatever you think reality. You should grow used to it once you've tried it out a little. You worthless former sister. You should consider it an honor to have been selected as the first sacrifice I offer as a witch. On the second twilight, I'll tear the two who are close apart with my own hands.
The first thing the new Beatrice wished for. No, the first magic she tried to use was to surpass the limitations given to humans. In particular, gravity. She wanted to become fully aware of her transformation into a witch by being released from those shackles. As the witch and Rosa stayed as they were, the ground retreated all by itself into the distance below them. By now, their feet were no longer attached to the ground. Rosa finally realized that the earth wasn't retreating into the distance below them, but that she and the witch were being sucked up into the rainy sky.
Huh? Eek! Whoa! Awesome!
For a human shackled to the ground by gravity, there is nothing more unnerving than having their feet stop sticking to the ground. However, to Beatrice, who in becoming the new witch had learned the joy of being released from gravity, it was enough to make her whole body shake with delight.
Hey, Rosa. Do you remember long ago when we were small, when we used to talk about what it'd be like to become witches and fly around the sky? That dream has been granted, hasn't it? I became a real witch and granted it for you. Stop it! If this is a dream, then wake me up. You said it yourself. You said you flew through the sky in your dream. And you also said you didn't want to wake up. You even got mad at me when I woke you up, right? Don't worry. This time you won't wake up, okay?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yep.
Come, dance with me in the vast rainy sky. Didn't we both wish we could fly like seagulls in the sky?
Yeah.
And escape the cramped and boring island of Rokenjima? Now, I'll make that dream a reality for you.
Didn't we both wish to fly like Umineko no Naku Koro ni?
True. I only want to share this joy with you and no one else. It's so fun, Rosa. It's so fun. Take a look below you. Look at how small our mansion is. I wonder how much time we spent in a place that small. Now I'm especially shocked at how cramped and tiny it is. So feel, enjoy, rejoice. That power we yearn for, the power to move through the sky at will. Come on, let's dance, Rosa. Through the rain, through the wind. I just imagine seeing Rosa just screaming right now. Let's fly around like we're dancing. The lightning will shine on us and bless us.
The witch and Rosa were like leaves fluttering around in a whirlwind. As the rain pounded upon every part of their bodies, as the lightning occasionally shone upon them, they shook with the joy of being released from the ground. However, it was only that way for the witch. Rosa was holding onto her head, voicelessly screaming over and over.
Stop it! Forgive me! Let me down! You're right. It's more fitting for humans to crawl on the ground. Then why not go back there?
A slightly displeased expression rose to the witch's face when she realized that her own joy was not being shared. Then, she decided to listen to her former sister's request.
Huh? Ah!
The whirlwind that had been making Rosa dance around grew weaker, then stopped. In other words, Rosa was once again bound by the restrictions of gravity as a human. Following the laws that were originally correct, Rosa began to descend towards the ground upside down. No, she began to fall.
Oops. That's right. If I don't take her down the right way, this is what happens.
The witch hadn't intended to send Rosa plummeting, but she still wasn't used to using magic. What a little shit.
Oh!
After plummeting about 100 meters into a rose bush, as a very, very natural result, Rosa died instantly. Well, at least it was instantly.
How's Maria handling this?
Beatrice!
Yeah, true.
But the witch hadn't intended to kill her. Well, eventually you did.
Yeah.
So she wished that Rosa hadn't died. Oh boy, here we go. When she did, gold butterflies coiled about Rosa's body, reviving that life just as the witch had wished. Rosa's body, which should have been spread out like a carpet of fresh blood, rapidly
Dang.
returned to normal.
Carpet.
The broken and crushed bones returned to normal. The torn and smashed flesh returned to normal. How easy it is to break things in this world, and how difficult it is to fix them. Anyone can take a life, but no human can revive a lost life. By surpassing the irreversible, one proves that they have surpassed humanity. I missed the comma.
Yeah.
This surely gave her a much, much greater realization of her position as a witch than flying through the sky had.
This scene in the anime is also pretty decent. But it isn't perfect. I think they could have done really, like, if you gave a good animation team this, they could have done something just brutal on this scene with forming Rosa back. But anyway. Awesome. I can even revive an ended life. Of course, Beatrice-sama is the endless witch. To live and to die. To bring to life and to kill. All of it repeated endlessly. Beatrice-sama, the endless witch, is the queen who controls the cycle of life and death. One time, I knocked over a fishbowl. The fragile and beautiful bowl broke. I couldn't put it back together again. I'd never see that cute pop-eyed goldfish swim again after it landed on the floor. No matter how much I cried, the servants shook their heads, saying that broken things and dead things could never be revived. That's when I learned something. You must not break things. You must not kill people. After all, you can't fix them. So if you can fix them, then you won't get in trouble for breaking them, right? Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome!
For a while, the witch became intoxicated with how terrible and wonderful the power she had inherited was. Her laugh was pure, innocent, and cruel. I feel like that's an oxymoron, but okay. The return of Ao.
True, different Ao, but Ao's here.
Even though Rosa had been revived, she let out a cry of anguish at the pain from her fall. At that point, the witch landed and held out her hand.
Sorry about that, Rosa. I didn't think flying in the sky would be so much fun. Sorry, I'm real sorry. And I didn't know how humans could die so easily. But I brought you back to life, so we're even. So get up, okay? Play with me some more, okay?
When were the... Oh.
True.
I don't know which one this is, but it's one of them.
I'm gonna just take a guess. What were those dreams you told me about when you were a kid? Go ahead and tell me all of them without holding back. As I am now. Yeah, okay. I can make anything come true, no matter how absurd. Even drowning you in a sea of jelly. Even having you get sucked into a mountain of cake.
Why did we immediately go to food?
I can even make you sprout butterfly wings and flit around the garden, okay? I'll do them one after another. Let's start with the ocean of jelly, alright? Stop it. Ugh.
We're in Mexico and Breaking Bad.
True.
Rosa was once again thrown high into the rainy sky.
Okay, I don't think you needed to do that, at least.
However, the sky wasn't filled with raindrops, but with drops of orange juice. When she looked down, Rosa had to doubt her eyes. The rose garden had disappeared, and the ground spread out beneath her was like a pastel-colored jigsaw puzzle. Not the pastels. It was an ocean of jelly, like the one she had spoken of from her dreams when she was young. What kind of dreams are you having, Rosa?
I don't know.
The black part was coffee jelly. Oh, okay.
Coffee jelly sucks.
The red part was strawberry.
Ding ding ding.
That's not yellow, that's green. The yellow was pineapple. And the green was melon.
Ding, ding, ding.
What was the white part? Apple?
I hope not.
Did Rosa even have the time to think about stuff like that? Yeah, why are you... Rosa fell towards that multicolored ocean.
And then what?
And she sunk deep into a purple, grape-flavored sea. Hey, none of that was purple.
I'm so jealous. Look, there it is.
It really was an ocean of jelly. It had no bottom. As Rosa sank, she was shocked to see a school of transparent fish swimming through the grape jelly ocean.
Boba.
They were probably made of grape skin.
Tapioca.
Then she sunk on, deeper and deeper, as deep as the Marianas Trench, crushed by the water pressure of the jelly ocean. As her ribs snapped, as her spine snapped, in the end, she became a small, frail meatball.
What a truly wonderful experience to drown in an ocean of jelly. It's a dream no one else can imitate. I made it come true for you. Boink. The instant I snapped my fingers, the meatball that had been Rosa was launched up into the sky.
Back into the sky we go. She really likes the not being restricted by gravity stuff.
Yeah.
And after being wrapped up in a golden sparkle, she returned to her original form. It was as shrimple as that. As simple and easy as returning dried seaweed to its original form, and anyone could do it. Oh, anyone could do it.
Mm-hmm.
If they were a witch.
Yeah.
That absent-minded look on Rosa's face has to be the joy from having that dream she gave up on as a child come true.
Exactly.
Clearly. She clearly likes it. Oh, definitely. Probably. Next is the Mountain of Cake. Woo! Mountain of Cake. In an instant, the sky was covered and became black and white in the shape of a chessboard. That almost transparent white part was her favorite rare cheesecake.
I love cheesecake.
Cheesecake is very good. The elegant black part was a slightly bitter gâteau au chocolate.
That sounds good too.
That became the ceiling, became a mountain, and several billion cakes were thrown down towards Rosa. Oh.
Whoa. Several billion cakes be upon ye.
The endless witch be like, ah, yes, I have the power to do anything to any degree. Let me just shovel a ludicrous amount of everything at my opponents at all times.
That's
More than there are people on the planet.
Yeah.
If you piled those cakes up, they would surely be taller than Mount Everest.
Holy moly.
So they probably weighed... I like to think that this is not Rosa saying this, but the narrator.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. But I'll bet it was heavier than all the cakes across Japan put together.
I think so too. It's a lot of cake.
It fell down like a ceiling and swallowed Rosa up. So, as a very, very natural result, Rosa was crushed to death.
Yeah.
In less than a second, her bones broke throughout her body and her insides were all smashed and forced out.
Oh,
It made the noise for me. I don't know if you heard that.
I did barely.
It did the canon noise again.
Yeah.
Even so, an even greater number of cakes piled on top. And Rosa ended up as a layer of jam wedged between them. She became as thin as a single hair, dang, and was probably spread out over the area of a tennis court. Holy moly.
Maria, how do you feel about all this?
Yay, Beatrice! That world, swallowed up by cake, was once again absorbed by a gold flash. Man, Rosa got the short end of the stick with both Beatrices.
Yeah.
The other one was torturing her by making her eat her family. Then, as though it had all been a dream, Rosa was revived once again. Of course, it definitely wasn't a dream. She had been revived after dying. By that point, death, which most humans only have to experience once after they're born, had already been experienced repeatedly by Rosa. In other words, I think that's supposed to be she'd gone through that which humans cannot, the precious experience of dying more than once.
No, she done gone through that.
I like to think in like the 9th dimension right now, Battler and Beatrice are both just making that face. You know the one. Where they're both just like, damn. Like...
Isn't this fun, Rosa? Isn't this fun? Next is the butterflies. Look. Please, have mercy. Ah! No way. Let's play more. Let's play more.
Laughing innocently, she pointed her gold staff at Rosa as she begged for mercy. When she did, Rosa glittered gold and rapidly began to shrink. Oh, that's right. She said she was going to make her into a butterfly. I was like, huh?
Look, it's Rosa, Levi.
She shrank down to the size of a real butterfly. Then
It's
gold
pretty.
wings sprouted from her back, and she joined her fellow gold butterflies.
Let's catch it.
However, while a human body could withstand that wind, it was a different matter for a butterfly's body.
Yeah.
The gold butterfly Rosa was invited to dance by each gale of wind, and she spun in circles around the rose garden. Oh my goodness. Make it a tiny voice, you won't. Oh, you did!
I was so ready for it, brother.
As her dance wore out, she was caught by a gentle bed. It was a soft knit hammock in the shadows beneath the roof of the arbor. Venus flytrap. The owner of that hammock lumbered into view, welcoming its rare guest who had wandered in on the night of a storm. Oh, it's a spider web.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be a spider.
That owner, which should have been small enough to crush in the palm of your hand, now looked as big as the top of a canopy bed to Rosa.
What a klutz! You got caught in a spider's web! This time it's a dance with a spider. That takes me back. Remember the times we'd find a spider's web and play around by throwing pebbles at it?
What is wrong with these children and slash people?
Rich.
That
I've heard the spiders don't chew their prey, but insert their venom And when the insides melt into a sticky soup, they suck them out.
Actually, that's only some spiders.
Hey, Rosa, remember? Remember how we throw butterflies into the spider's web on purpose and play around by seeing how the spider would attack?
Oh my god.
I guess you don't remember, do you? This happened before you got into grade school. Make sure you watch closely this time, okay? Very closely. No! Have mercy, Nathan. Help me, Nathan.
What?
Eek. Ah.
Good luck. I really want to go back and listen to what the VAs did for this.
I know, right? This girl's not bad. She truly can use magic at will. Amusing, how truly amusing. You feel like laughing too, right, Battler?
Don't fuck with me. Stop it already. What's so fun? You're insane. You're insane. What's so fun about doing something like this?
Doesn't she look like she's having a blast? What do you expect? Magic is fun. I remember when I first became able to use magic. I played around a lot. Ah, I understand that kind of game from the bottom of my heart. Looks like I won't be able to share this joy and passion with you, Battler. Ah, what a shame, what a shame. If you accept me, I'll teach you magic anytime you want, see? It's hard to describe the joy you receive in the instant you're freed from the shackles of humanity. I want to teach you about it, that joy, that passion. I'd definitely like to see the world of magic you'd give birth to, just once.
Really, really strange turnabout to complimenting him.
Isn't this starting to get fun? You've started wanting to use magic, haven't you? It's pretty fun to be a witch, isn't it?
Beatrice, I really don't think you're grasping Battler's opinion in this moment.
Just for you, I'll teach everything. About the joy of flying together in the sky. About the joy of diving together through the sea. I want to show you the passion that starts the instant you surpass the bounds of humans. And see how wide your world stretches. Oh, that's a euphemism. Oh. Wouldn't that be fun?
There was no malice in Beato's expression. It was hard to believe, but she was genuinely enjoying this cruel show. And she wanted to share that appreciation with Battler. Battler was shocked by that hopelessly different sense of values. You're insane! Stop it already, damn it! Virgilia, make them stop this insane farce!
Mom.
What should I do? We exist outside the board. We cannot touch the board itself. Virgilia shook her head apologetically. Her body had already been killed. Did that mean she couldn't interfere in any way? As Beatrice continued to look amused in an insane sort of way, Battler lifted her up by the collar and yelled at her.
What collar?
Which one? Yeah, like the choker or like the side, like where her shoulders are?
Yeah.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Quit messing around, witch! Are you trying to tell me that's Aunt Ava? That's impossible! The Aunt Ava I know might be a bit mean at times, but it's completely impossible that she's the kind of person who'd do something this cruel. This is all part of your deception. Don't toy with Aunt Rosa. Don't toy with Aunt Ava. Stop this farce right now!
I told you, I'm not the one playing with Rosa anymore. Like I said, that's the new Beatrice. Is it really so terrible that you have to squeal like that? You're also pretty fond of stuff like this, aren't you? You actually have just a bit of interest in magic, and... ouch! What are you doing?
For the first time, Battler slapped Beato's cheek. Beatrice didn't know why he had done something like that to her, and a surprised expression rose to her face. Battler especially couldn't forgive that expression, and he roared. Ah! You call this amusing? What's wrong with your head? Die! Go slice your head to bits and look inside. You'll see there's nothing there. Stop it right now. Stop this disgusting farce. I won't forgive you. How could you possibly do something so cruel? I've sometimes thought you could be a bit funny, but I'll never make that mistake again. You're just a monster who's cruel on all levels. Don't show yourself in front of me. Never again. I won't accept you. I won't talk with you. I don't even want to look at your face. Did you hear me? Don't show yourself in front of me. Disappear! The instant Battler screamed, also sorry, I probably peaked my audio a bunch for the people in stream listening to that.
I was gonna say, I don't know about stream. I was more or less fine on here.
Oh, wow, okay. If Discord picked it up, then it was probably fine. Wow, I'm surprised. Yeah. The instant Battler screamed, the power that resisted the witch became a red wall and knocked Beato back onto her butt.
Ow. What are you talking about? Isn't it an interesting show?
She spoke defensively, but the target of those words, Battler, was no longer there. His figure had suddenly disappeared into the darkness. But Beatrice looked displeased and continued trying to explain herself.
It's not as though I'm completely blind to where you're coming from. But this is nothing more than an innocent prank, isn't it?
Dang! Brutal, violent murder. It's just a prank, bro.
No matter how you kill them, they'll always be brought back to life in the end, right? I thought humans were creatures who say all's well that ends well. Hey, teacher. There was no reason for him to get so angry, right?
I want to know what circumstances occurred that caused Virgilia to make her the Endless Witch. Because Virgilia seems much more like human in her morality than the other two. She was hoping for approval, but Virgilia simply faced her with an indifferent expression. To Beato, at that moment, even an exasperated look would probably have been better. I have nothing in particular to say. If you think this is fun, you can keep watching as long as you want. Call me when it's over. I will vanish until then. Dang! I'm not gonna be here to mediate.
Yeah.
I'm out. Following Battler's lead, Virgilia vanished into the darkness. Beato, who was now completely isolated and didn't have a clue what was going on, felt that they were making her out to be the bad guy.
What's wrong? Isn't it an amusing show? It might be a little vulgar, but it's quite interesting, isn't it? Hey, Ronove. It's nothing to get so mad about, right? Something interesting for you, milady. may not necessarily be interesting for Battler-sama. Oh, she's got a tear. Does he really hate me that much? Well, certainly we are enemies and opponents in this competition. But is our relationship really so bad that we can't laugh together at this display? Since I applauded together with Battler, I thought I could at least laugh together with him. Does he really reject me so much that we can't even do that? He doesn't have to accept that I'm a witch. We're challenging each other in this game, after all. And yet, he won't look at my face, he won't talk to me, and he'll probably do all he can to ignore me. Am I really hated that much? The moves you've made up to this point have been more than enough to earn his hatred.
Dang! Just laying it out.
Even a demon such as myself can understand a bit of Battler-sama's feelings. Perhaps you cannot understand because you are especially thick-headed, milady.
Dang, Ronove!
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Why don't you disappear too? Yes, certainly. And then, if you would excuse me.
Even Ronove hid himself in the darkness, and Beatrice was left alone. The only one in the rainy rose garden. No one ever plays with a lonely witch. And the fact that no one ever does is what makes them a lonely witch.
I see you the picture I sent you on Messenger last night. But anyway. I can't describe it. My lawyer has advised me.
Yeah,
not
my
to.
lawyer has advised me not to elaborate.
What's going on? Why won't anyone play with me? Am I really that weird? That cruel? Someone answer me! Back to the show. Isn't this fun, Rosa? Isn't this fun? Hey, how should we play next? Of course, we should play with Maria too, right?
Oh boy.
Let's all have a friendly walk together, okay? Let's swim in a pot of boiling chocolate.
Ooh.
Let's have a picnic in a cake-rising oven.
Ooh. Why did Rosa have so many food-related dreams? What? Dessert-related dreams.
Yeah. Hey, new Beatrice.
I need you to psychoanalyze me real quick.
Yeah, you don't think this is cruel, do you?
Behind the witch that was continuing her mad banquet, Beatrice showed herself. That expression was very rare for her. It was somehow restrained, unreliable, miserable.
Oh, it's the predecessor, Beatrice song. Were you watching? The power of magic is truly wonderful. Until now, I never thought it'd be so fun to be reborn as a witch. It's like playtime that never ends. Come on, let's play together, Predecessor Sama. But first, wait for a second, okay? I cooked the two of them to death in an oven, so I have to revive them again.
Dang.
They're like bread rising from yeast. Like cookies expanding in an oven. Listen to what I'm saying. Well, isn't that enough for the sacrifice of the second twilight? Of course, there are no rules regarding how you kill them, but, maybe you shouldn't toy with them any more than that. What are you saying, Predecessor Sama? I have heard from Ronove a short while ago. Wasn't your magic much, much more wonderful, cruel, and crazy?
Dang.
That Halloween party where candies poured out of 6 people's stomachs was truly wonderful. So maybe I'll act out Alice's tea party. I'll invite everyone to a tea party in celebration of a completely pointless day and entertain them one by one with my magic. I wonder if I can do it as wonderfully as you?
What a face.
I wonder if I can be cool in my own pop cute style?
I do gotta say, some of the faces Beatrice is making are making me feel things.
Yeah?
Not in like a I'm in danger kind of way, and like,
Oh no, yeah, she's terrifying.
yeah.
Hideyoshi really was lucky, wasn't he? No.
Yes, he was.
Now that I think about it, all fairy tales are cruel, aren't they? Now that I'm a witch inside one of those fairy tales, I finally understand. I have also, sometimes thought that in the past, I might have gone a little too far. Well, I think that as the Golden Witch, it's probably best to show a little elegance. Huh? I don't get what you're saying, Predecessor Summer. But there's one thing I do understand. No matter how hard I try now, I'm no match for how cruel you are.
Dang. Everyone's just hitting her with the "you're cruel, you're a monster, you're evil."
I've got to try much, much harder. I've got to become more cruel and become an excellent golden witch. Like I said, you've already done enough here. Anyway, this is an order from me as your predecessor. That's enough for the second twilight.
You can do that? I don't think you've
I'll
been listening
show
to
you how
Virgilio
it's
very
done.
much.
Yeah. Stand back and watch. Go, here we go. Yes, Predecessor Sama. I can't wait to see what brutal, cruel, and disgusting method of killing you use.
They're really driving this home.
Yeah.
It's making me laugh because I'm just imagining, like, every time they say, like, cruel, brutal, disgusting, she just, like, winces just a little bit. The new witch grasped the sides of her skirt and gave a graceful bow, stepping back as an expectant gaze rose to her face. She was expecting an even more cruel magic that surpassed even herself.
Well, speaking of that, you're only half a witch if you can only kill with methods like that. I shall show you an elegant way to kill, worthy of the Golden Witch. Gone.
When Beato waved her pipe, 7 colors of smoke poured out, reviving Rosa and Maria. Compared to how the new Beatrice had done it a short while ago, it was slightly gentler. It was probably gentler than how Beato had done it herself up until now. Rosa's consciousness had already grown dim from the pain of so many repeated deaths. But even so, she pleaded that her daughter be spared.
Please, have mercy. Even if it's just Maria, have mercy.
Ah, Mama, Mama!
I see, I didn't hear a single one of those. That was crazy. Okay. Sorry. My disciple just, acted without restraint for a bit. Forgive me.
Beatrice!
When Maria realized it was the real Beatrice, she jumped onto her.
You promised, right, Beato? You promised you'd take me to the Golden Land, right? There, I'll be friendly with Mama, and everyone will laugh together. You promised you'd take me there, right?
About that, I can no longer keep that promise. Because someone appeared who could solve the riddle, I am no longer the Golden Witch Beatrice. So sorry. I can no longer keep my promise with you.
But I thought the Golden Witch Beatrice always keeps her promises.
Ande. Why? Why? You promised.
I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. So at least an apology for not being able to keep my promise. I'll give you a quiet sleep that will never be disturbed again.
Beato embraced Maria with a loving expression on her face and then snapped her neck.
Yeah.
Then, softly, a red bruise appeared on Maria's neck. that's
Almost,
what
kinda.
Genji did.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's what Genji did to Kanon and Shannon.
He's like touched him and then the...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a very gentle bruise. And it became a rose when he did it. Its redness grew bit by bit. And when it distinctly formed itself into the shape of a hand, Maria's neck tilted suddenly, peacefully, as though she had fallen asleep.
Maria! Maria! Sorry. I won't apologize that you were the sacrifices for the second twilight. That is simply your fate. However, I must apologize for the vulgar way in which you are offered as sacrifices. This is your final sleep. Never again will it be disturbed.
Until episode 4. Beato softly, gently lifted her finger, as though touching the empty air in front of her nose. When she did, a light breeze lifted up, making Rosa's body dance lightly like a feather. Then,
You know, I gotta say,
yeah,
I was just thinking about this. I was just thinking about the fighting game. Have we talked about that? Have I told you about that?
we've mentioned it a little bit, but I don't think we've talked extensively about it.
Yeah, the Umineko fighting game.
Yeah, there is an Umineko fighting game, which is really funny.
yeah.
It's like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, like in its design.
Yeah. But it is... I was just sitting here thinking, like, man, let me see. I wonder if you can play as Genji, because he's got that one-hit KO move. You cannot.
Dang!
So that leads me to believe that he's so powerful that you can't play as him. It just wouldn't be fair.
He's just too strong. He's too OP.
Mind you that Burn Castell and Lambda Delta are playable.
Genji is the strongest magical person in the whole Higurashi verse.
In the Genji solos the verse.
Yeah.
Anyway. Goda also isn't playable, so that makes sense too.
Magical Goda Chef. I like to imagine with Goda, it's the case of he's so bewildered by everything that it does like the thing Battler does, where he doesn't believe in magic, so they just have no effect on him.
True, no attacks connect at all.
Yeah, he doesn't have a hitbox. Goda. Then, Rosa's body floated softly. And right there was the garden fence with its spear-shaped prongs. Dang, this one's a little more brutal than the Maria one.
Yeah.
Beatrice,
He's just like, I'm gonna make it easy for you.
the spear of the fence pierced Rosa's medulla oblongata.
Dang.
Benevolently, without toying with her, in a single blow. Okay, fair enough. Rosa's life was snapped out.
Oh.
Compared to the earlier innocent yet cruel events, it seemed to be over much too fast. It looked just like a doll shaped like Rosa was leaning against the fence. But she had passed away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, something like that should do the trick.
Beato acted proud, but the new witch wore a blank expression, almost as though this was an anticlimax. She just doesn't get the elegance of it, Beatrice. Then, she said it out loud.
It's kinda plain. Not at all like the predecessor-sama Runaway told me about. Well, you must use magic with dignity, right? If it's too, undignified, that isn't very elegant. Even though you're lucky enough to have the magic to do wonderful things endlessly. How boring. Hey, don't complain. The path of the Golden Witch cannot be completed in a day. You are still incomplete until you finish the 10th twilight. For now, stay quiet and follow my instructions. Got it? What happened to your answer? Your answer! Sure. Very well. That will do. Well, there's still much to do for the resurrection ceremony. You still have to kill 5 people. You should do it without toying with them too much, with beauty and dignity. And with at least a little restraint, okay? What Ronove told you about how I did it, that was a bad example. You mustn't use that as a model. Engrave that into your heart. Yes, predecessor Sama. A good answer. Ronove, the 7 stakes of purgatory, arise! Yes, milady. I, Ronove, am here.
Lucifer of Pride, right here.
Up until this point, I've been a little flashy, but, well, the dignity of the Golden Witch is also important. And about that...
As Ronove laughed at Beato's uncharacteristically flustered speech, he summed it up for her.
Certainly. From now on, we will be careful to act in a graceful manner, suitable for the name of the Golden Witch. Even the 7 Sisters of Purgatory will reform their bad behavior up until now.
Wait, no, they can keep doing that. Wait, no. Battler in the 9th dimension.
True, I need... And we shall espouse to perform our task in the quickest possible manner. Would that be acceptable, my lady? Indeed. That's it, more or less. Everyone, take it to heart. Okay?
Yes, certainly.
That is all I wish to say. You may leave now. Certainly. If you would excuse me. I think he said that every time before he left.
Excuse us.
Well, that's all I want to say. So take care as you move forward, understand? Act with dignity and, restraint, okay? Give it your all. I will be watching over you.
Acting awkwardly until the very end, Beato left that message and immediately became a cloud of gold butterflies hiding her form in the empty air. Maybe it'd be more accurate to say she vanished in a hurry because she couldn't keep up the conversation. After that, all that remained was Maria's corpse, lying down and pounded by the rain. Rosa's corpse, propped up by the fence and staring up at the sky, and the figure of the witch.
Show some restraint, you say?
Her expression looked just a little bored. There was a popping sound. That was probably her clicking her tongue.
What a boring person.
Leaving that last sentence behind, she once again vanished into the empty air. Oh!
That's 1 chapter.
Shoo!
Now, I was really hoping we'd be able to get through 3 chapters today, but I don't know.
3?
I know. Well, the one that's 3 away, now 2 away, is a banger. But we'll see. We'll see how long this one is.
Okay.
Z.
Whew. Looks like she finally calmed down. Hideyoshi wiped his own forehead. For a time, Eva had seemed to be having a very painful nightmare, but it appeared she'd finally fallen asleep. as promised, he still gripped Ava's hand. He thought it might be time to let go pretty soon, but he faithfully continued to hold on. Every once in a while, his hand would get tired and he would switch between his right and his left. But even so, as promised, he didn't let go of her hand. At that time, there was a heavy knock. Ava had finally been able to fall asleep, so Hideyoshi grimaced for an instant.
Anaki, Hideyoshi-san, sorry. Is Rosa there?
It was Rudolph's voice. What could it be? Hideyoshi headed for the door, hiding his footsteps so that he wouldn't wake Ava. It was definitely Rudolph's voice, but just in case, he opened the door without removing the chain.
What is it? Something happened to Rosa-san?
We can't find Rosa or Maria-chan. I thought they might be with you.
I heard her scolding Maria-chan in the corridor. They got quiet after that, so I thought they'd gone back to the lobby, but did they?
What an idiot.
Rudolph clicked his tongue.
I've done that a lot today.
Other people could be seen in the corridor. Rosa hadn't returned for a while after going out into the corridor, so they'd begun to worry. Near the front door, Natsuhi pointed at the unset chain.
The chain isn't set. They must have gone outside to see that rose after all.
How extraordinarily careless to go out and leave the door unlocked. What a troublesome person.
I'm more worried about Rosa-san and Maria-chan themselves.
Right. Hey, brats. Where was this Rose of Maria's?
I'm pretty sure it was in the flower bed right in the middle of the rose garden.
If that's where they are, we should be able to spot them pretty quickly if we go.
Dad, shouldn't we bring them back here as soon as we can?
Of course. We'll bring them back and give them a good spanking.
Dang.
I'll dash out there and come back. Lock the door as soon as I go out.
Probably not a good idea to go out alone, Rudolph.
Dad, I'll go with you.
Don't be stupid. It's obviously a brat's job to watch over the house with Mama.
I think that's the first time he's ever said mama, and it has now made me realize you have made him sound like, what's his name? Oh, from Cartoon Network.
Oh,
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like it's fitting.
Yeah.
What is it? Did something happen?
Sorry, did I wake you up? It seems Rosa-san took Maria-chan outside. How reckless of her.
Rose and Maria-chan are outside? In the rose garden?
That's right. Oh, did you hear? Maria-chan was causing a ruckus because she wanted to see this rose.
They mustn't. They mustn't go to the rose garden. Tell Rosa to stop.
There's no telling her to stop now. It looks like they left a while ago. Seriously, how reckless of them.
That's not it. Not the rose garden. There's a witch there. And she's waiting for a sacrifice. Rosa, you mustn't go. Oh.
Ava cowered again, holding her head. Her complexion looked very bad.
What is it? Did the fever make you dream something bad?
It's a dream. Yes. In the rose garden, the witch doing that to Rosa and Maria-chan.
Dang, she saw all of it.
That's right. It's a dream. It must be.
Calm down. I'm here in this room, and the chain is set. The shutter's closed on the window, and we've even got a gun. This room is just like a fort. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Hideyoshi beat his chest, trying to calm her, but Ava's insecure expression didn't change. Under the covers, Ava kept praying that the grotesque nightmare she'd just had was only a dream. Mm-mm.
You think it was? It might have been.
Mm-mm. Nah, I don't think it was. I don't... Oh,
Ooh, oh,
Dead.
that's right, yeah.
dead. Oh, black space for the spike.
Mm-hmm.
Died in the Rose Garden, Medulla oblongata. If Maria's death hadn't been a clear homicide, it may have been possible to suspect an accidental death in Rosa's case. This woman was the human sacrifice for the birth of the new witch.
Just like, that's an accident. It's an accident. What the
Rose
heck
Garden.
happened to her?
Mm-hmm. Cause of her death was strangling, probably by bare hands. Circumstantial evidence makes it reasonable to assume that she was killed after Rosa. Interesting, because she wasn't. Then,
Yeah.
her blood became the red ink for the witch's oath.
Oh.
In the center of the rose garden, Rudolph identified the corpses of Rosa and Maria. After that, he returned to the guest house, called for help, and he carried both of them into the guest house. If we can trust Nanjo's examination, the cause of Rosa's death was a stab to the medulla oblongata with the pointed gate of the fence. It is thought that Maria's death was due to strangling with bare hands. However, due to the devil's proof, we cannot discount a misdiagnosis.
I will say it in red. Rosa and Maria died. The causes of death were as Nanjo diagnosed. She wasn't eaten by a spider, nor was she crushed by a mountain of cake. Don't worry.
So, you argue that even though you toyed with their deaths so much, it's all fine because the corpse is neat and clean? I definitely won't forgive you. I definitely won't forgive all of that brutal treatment you gave Aunt Rosa. So I won't forgive you.
Like I said, that wasn't me. I believe I gave them a much more peaceful death than the way she treated them.
Shut the hell up. I'm not talking to you. It was stated that there are no more than 18 people on this island, and now that 8 people are already dead, we can narrow the field of suspects down to 10. One of them probably killed those 2. Or could it also be an accidental death? Like Maria was having a tantrum, and when Aunt Rosa tried to stop her crying, she misjudged how much power she was using and accidentally killed her. Then, she was so upset that she slipped and fell, landing on the fence and, unluckily, died. How's that? That way there's no need for a witch or magic.
Oh well, that's not quite true. Actually, Rosa and Maria...
Shut up. Didn't I say I wasn't talking to you? You're an eyesore, so disappear. You monster. Badler said that without rage, but with a horribly cold voice. That strange behavior was something Beato had noticed right off the bat. In a fight, both of them could go at each other without restraint. However, he wouldn't even step into the ring. She could feel that coldness. Beato didn't find that amusing. She thought about flaring up, but she held back. Maybe even though she was innocent and childish, she had enough sense to realize that she shouldn't pick fights.
Is that so? Then I'll vanish. Ronove, continue for me. Certainly. Will that be satisfactory, Batwa-sama?
There are no problems with her proposal. If Badler-kun doesn't want to see Beato's face, perhaps that will do.
Do what you like. If I can live without seeing that monstrous face, I don't care about anything else.
Hey, wait a second. You keep saying monster, monster, but isn't that a cruel way to speak of me? Why do you instinctively hate me so much, Battler? Even though none of that was me, even though it was all the work of my disciple.
It's not like I'm only mad about what happened just now. It's been like that from the very beginning.
Hey, battler. Don't misunderstand, okay? Aren't we just a pair of players confronting each other through a game? We look for moves to make things painful for each other, but...
Don't get the wrong idea. I don't hate you because you're my rival in this strange game about whether I accept you as a witch or not. I just can't forgive how senselessly cruel you are.
Well, serial murders are a part of this game. It's probably impossible to avoid a little cruelty.
I'm not just talking about what just happened. There was the last time, and the time before that, too. Tearing everyone's stomachs open and stuffing them with sweets? Plowing their faces? What was the point of all that?
That's... well...
When it comes to closed room murders and tricks and alibis, I'm willing to give you a pass. You want to claim that this is a murder done by magic, so I'll grudgingly accept that those complicated crimes need to occur. But what exactly is the point of all those grotesque murders?
well, nothing much.
That's right. They don't mean anything. You're just fooling around by mangling the corpses for fun. That has nothing to do with whether you're a witch, or whether it could or couldn't be done with magic. You're just exploring the depths of cruelty for fun. This isn't about whether you're a witch or anything like that. There are just some things I can't forgive as a human.
What do you mean, as a human?
For example, the 6 people of the first Twilight for this game. Well, other than Grandfather being burned black, the other corpses were killed in a normal way without any unnecessary shaming of the dead. It wasn't clear whether the weapon was a spear or a gun, but anyway, as far as killing goes, that was acceptable. It was much better than the nonsensical grotesqueness and cruelty from the first Twilight last time, or the time before that. And this time, there were 6 closed rooms tied together to make a closed room chain. That was sort of interesting. When we were going back and forth with each other that time, to be perfectly honest, I thought it was just a little fun. You were frantic to make me accept your existence, and I was frantically trying to deny it. We were both frantically doing all we could. This may sound weird, but I felt a faint sense of sportsmanship between the two of us. We exist in conflict. But I faintly thought that we might not be completely unable to understand each other's existence. But just now, that feeling was blown away without a trace.
That's what you're misunderstanding. That wasn't me.
That's not it. That's not what I'm talking about. You watched Aunt Rosa being killed horribly over and over, and you sneered at it like it was an interesting show. When I saw that, I was deeply disappointed in you. When I realized that your decision to kill them in a slightly better way this time was nothing more than a faint whim, and that nothing had changed in your cruel character, I was deeply disappointed. On the contrary, you were even genuinely enjoying those brutal deaths. You weren't just acting as cruel as you could to bully me. You truly, genuinely enjoy cruelty. Your character lets you enjoy it. You said I'd probably think that Aunt Rosa being brutally killed over and over was fun. You weren't joking. You enjoyed it from the bottom of your heart, wanted me to sympathize, and said that I'd probably think it was fun. In that instant, I lost respect for you and realized the truth. The problem isn't whether you're a witch or not. I will not forgive that cruelty of yours. And I can't understand it. I can't forgive it either. Still, I'll continue this game of whether to accept or deny witches.
I won't step down and accept my own defeat. However, your pointless cruelty is absolutely unnecessary for that game. So I've decided that I won't accept you as my opponent. Ronove is 100 times better. He doesn't have the same cruel hobby you do. Even if he does, he doesn't have the awful taste to show it off in front of me. And that's right. You have awful taste. You're heartless and cruel, so you can't understand. That's unpleasant in an opponent. So I don't want to see your face again. As Battler went on and on by himself, Beato was shocked into silence for a long time. Maybe she couldn't understand what she was being told, and this was a sign that she was doing all she could in an effort to understand. For a while, she kept switching between angry expressions, frustrated expressions, bold expressions, as though even she herself didn't know what attitude she should take. In the end, she made her face into a candid expression, as though she had come to her senses. And she shrugged her shoulders as though she was tired.
In that case, do as you like. From now on, I will continue this game through Ronove. You have no complaints as long as I don't show myself, right?
For the time being. But I definitely won't forgive all of your cruel actions up until now. And I definitely won't accept you. For that reason as well, I won't back down from this fight you've picked. And I definitely won't lose. That's all there is to it. Beato, no matter how many more excuses you give, his impression will not waver. I have something to talk about later. Until then, stay back.
Indeed. Understood. Then I'll vanish until you call.
Looking lonely, Beato turned her back to them and vanished. Battler watched, a slightly displeased expression on his face. He thought his argument had been valid, but for some reason his mood didn't clear up. She's an idiot. That's true. An idiot, and a straightforward one. That idiot watched Aunt Rosa get killed horribly with me, then turned around with a huge smile on her face. She really believed that she could laugh with me at that cruel show. She really believed that I could sympathize with that emotion. Looking at that innocent smile, I felt just horrible. It would have been much better if she said it with her normal bullying face. Damn it.
Milady has never had the experience of having a friend. In addition, she has probably never had something spoken to her that strongly. Madam and I are her attendants. No matter what we say, it will not reach her ears. For Milady, this is also...
Don't screw with me. I don't remember ever becoming her friend.
That's true enough. My apologies.
There is one thing I would like to thank you for. Thank you for not backing down from that child's game.
She spoke words of gratitude, but for some reason, Battler made a displeased face. Then, as though in self-derision, he chuckled. Now that I've got witches and demons thanking me, I'm screwed. Let's resume the game. Of course, I don't intend to go easy on you.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Unlike Milady, I do not get agitated.
I've already made my move. If we suppose that Aunt Rosa is the culprit and died in an accident, I can deny the witch. I don't want to suspect Aunt Rosa, but I think I can bear to accept that premise if it'll beat the hell out of Beato.
I will deny it with red. Rosa's and Maria's deaths were homicides.
Okay. Let's start from there. Damn. I'm just not getting fired up. Oof! What a scene. What a monologue from Battler.
Yeah.
Pouring
okay.
his heart out.
Indeed. This is not, we are en media res here. We are in the middle of a chapter.
Yeah.
But first off, considering how long this stream has been and also what we have coming up, I think this is a good stopping point.
Okay.
Because, like, this point and all of next chapter are, like, they run together. So I think
Okay.
we should leave it here.
All right.
But, yeah. They hate each other. Reaffirmed. You thought they were friends?
Well,
nope.
I don't think Beatrice hates him anymore, but I think Battler hates her.
Yeah. He's just a meanie, huh?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. It is an interesting dynamic having to... Because, see, you can understand why she's the way she is. She's pretty much not human in her morality. She's been the way she is for 1,000 years and has had no consequences for her actions, presumably, for 1,000 years. And I mean, like Beatrice was saying in the beginning, like, what's the problem? If you can break something but fix it perfectly, there's no reason to be reprimanded or rebuked. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's the attitude that Beatrice has probably had for 1,000 years. And for the first time, someone, first of all, has met her, interacted with her for a long time now, and now also is saying, like, basically he's giving her the expectation that she shouldn't be hopeless and think that. Instead of what, because, like, I probably would be like, okay, that's just the way she is. It sucks, but that's just the way she is. But Battler is still judging her by human standards, which I think is going a long way here.
Well. And then, of course, you know, there's also Beatrice, who's, like, been a human for almost her whole life, and she was immediately like,
Yep, immediately became a horrible, horrible monster. The second she was given a modicum of power.
Yeah.
Oops. She did say oops.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? If you had to pick one, which one would you want to do? Would you want to get drowned in an ocean of jelly, or get smothered in a mountain of cake, become a butterfly? What were the other ones they just mentioned briefly? I can't remember.
Get burned to death in an oven.
Yeah.
What was the other one before that? There was the oven, there was the picnic in the oven, and then there was something else that she did. But I don't remember. If I had to pick out of all of them...
Yeah.
Ugh. None of those are quick or, like, painless. Drowning supposedly is one of the most painful ways to die. Because
Actually, she
it's
didn't
really
get drowned.
slow.
It was the
True,
pressure
she
that
also
killed
got
her.
crushed by the pressure, which I imagine
Yeah.
also isn't fun, because that would be
Probably
slow as well as the pressure slowly increases.
It did say that it crushed her ribs, then her spine.
Yeah. I feel like the smothering was probably the quickest out of all of them. It still would be horrible.
It did say that she died pretty quick with that one.
Yeah, so I'd probably choose that one if I had to choose one. But
Yeah.
that's the second Twilight down, guys.
Yeah, how'd it happen?
My original framework was actually exactly what Battler said about
It's
Rosa
accident?
got angry, strangled Maria, then freaked out because she was like, oh my god, I strangled Maria, and then like tripped backwards onto a spike. But then we just got from Ronove they were homicides.
Yep.
Which,
Yeah.
who, everyone was in the lobby except for Eva and Hideyoshi, who were in a locked room.
With a chain, yep.
I don't think we need to work off of the theory of this is continuous with the last murder until I get something said in red where we have to. But for now, I think I can still work off the theory that the murderer is not the same one who had an accident and died last time. Which, I mean, if that's the case, if we're going off the theory that there's a 19th person, when they go out into the garden to get the rose, person comes up, like grabs Rosa, throws her onto the spike, and then strangles Maria.
I don't believe you can do a 19th person in this game, if I remember correctly.
Has there been red that says otherwise?
I believe so. I'm double checking right now. Yeah, there are no more than 18 humans on this Rokenjima.
Okay, no more than 18 humans. Was a homicide. All the kids were present in the lobby, though, if I remember correctly, or did they go back?
They were on the second floor until they were then on the lobby, or in the lobby.
So out of all of the people, I would say the most likely candidates for this would probably have to be like Hideyoshi and Ava.
Yeah.
Because they were in that room because Ava was supposedly sick. Did Hideyoshi say something about like I just got out of the shower or something? Or am I crazy? Or maybe they just mentioned the washroom or something.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of windows
Rosa
of time.
showered, and Ava showered, but then after that is when those two went into their room.
Yeah.
I can't remember from that point.
But we also have the fact that Hideyoshi spoke to Rosa and Maria before they were dead, which confirms that at least until that point they were in that room.
Yep.
This one's tough.
Yes, it is.
It has to be a homicide is making it the hard part now. Has to be a homicide. There's only 18 people on Rokenjima. Is it? We're absolutely 100% certain. I think that red has been said for this, but all of the people in the first Twilight are dead. They're not pretending.
Let me double check.
I think that has been said in red. I think that was said. Because that's going to be my running theory if it's not the case. Okay.
Yep, these 6 are all dead.
Okay,
Kenzo,
so
Genji, Shannon, Kanon, Goda, and Kumasawa.
Couldn't be any of them. Huh. Perhaps we could do a rewind to the first Twilight and pull a trick out of that. It was a trap, perhaps. Until
you could do that technically.
Until
for the other
proven.
6, it says the 6 were not killed by
Yeah,
traps.
it could.
but
Those
they
6
haven't
weren't
said
killed
that for
by
this
traps,
one.
but these 2 it hasn't been said yet.
Yeah.
So with perhaps the knowledge that Maria is, a little special, and that she had that rose in the garden, and there was the potential she would return at some point, possibly bringing someone with her. There could have been something set up to cause someone to, but I'm not sure how you would get the strangulation from that. But that's how I would say the falling onto the spike would happen, is there was like something that threw Rosa's balance off. But how would you get the strangulation then with nothing left behind to show what did the strangling?
Yeah. It's a toughie, but if you can't crack it now, I'm sure Battler will cook something up by the time we get to the next part.
I'll think over the course of the week. So when we get...
And you can too, audience.
Yep.
If you don't know, leave your guesses in the comments. If you do know, shut your mouth.
True. No spoilers, please. Although I generally don't come back and watch the VODs because I participate in them, so...
True.
But
I get our notifications of the comments.
Yep. All right. Oops. The title back. I needed title back.
Yeah, he's got his title back.
Title back.
There you go. Title back.
Well, after a little bit of speculation there at the end, I think that's where we're going to go ahead and call it for this one. Any,
Otherwise,
as per usual, any announcements at the end of the stream?
news for the week. Tomorrow, new video. Right now, it's going to be Terranria, but it might not be if I'm fast enough. I know. Otherwise, if not then Tuesday, I'll be streaming a nostalgia game. I'll be streaming a Yu-Gi-Oh game from my childhood on the PS2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses.
Woo.
So that'll be fun, because we finished Symphony of the Night last week, so
Yeah.
this will be our little break before we go into another Castlevania. Thursday, we're actually not going to have a video on Thursday, because, if, depending on the time, I'm going to stream Zenless Zone Zero.
Oh,
As
that's
its
coming
release
out.
day.
That's right. I forgot that was coming out
Happy
on the 4th of
Independence
July.
Day, America.
Yeah.
Yep. If that's the case, and again, if I'm fast enough, I will try to have another video out later in the week, probably Friday or Saturday. And then we'll be back with Umineko maybe next week. We'll have to see.
Maybe.
'Cause,
It is a holiday weekend,
yeah.
so we might be a little bit... Again, we mention this all the time. We're in the States. It's 4th of July weekend, Independence Day weekend for us. If you know anything about Americans, they're very patriotic when it comes to the 4th of July. We like to do a lot of stuff. We usually have family get-togethers and cookouts and stuff. So we might be busy. Just keep your eyes on our notifications. We'll put out something if we're not streaming.
Exactly. That's all I got.
All right.
Leroy,
I don't
shut up
have...
and do it to him.
Yeah. I'm pressing the end stream button now. Bye. See you guys next week. I'll miss you.